appropriate breed, the suitable breed for whatever farming we want. Either we want for layer purpose or for broiler purpose, and what system of rearing we want to follow, like backyard system or commercial systems. So accordingly, the breeds that are suitable in our conditions, that we can select the breeds. Then scientific brooding management. Since brooding is a very essential activity for chicks, because in the initial stage they are very susceptible to various diseases and mortality is also high. So brooding management during the initial stage is very important for their future growth. So we will discuss about these. For this, I have divided my presentation into the following topics. First is the introduction, then the classification of breeds, then the commercially developed breeds, brooding management, then we will go to the poultry rearing systems, then optimum environmental conditions, and then conclusion. Sir also told about the present scenario of the poultry sector. It is we know that it is the fastest growing sector among the livestock sector. So it plays a very critical role in providing cheap source or affordable source of high quality meat to the rural farmers or to the population as a whole. So as with the growing income of people, plus in the rural people have got, means with their less income also they can get high quality meat or eggs. The present population is around 851.81 million. The recent census is yet to come, so it will increase. We have seen that in the year 2024 to 25, the backyard poultry sector has increased by 45.78%. It has shown a huge increase in the backyard poultry farming. The commercial sector has also increased by 4.5%, and the poultry population in Punjab is around 17.6 millions. The per capita availability of eggs has also increased to 106 eggs per annum, and the per capita availability of meat has also increased to 7.5 kg.
What is the per capita availability of eggs in Punjab? This
Sir,
is the national.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, it is around like 170.
It's 165 eggs
Okay,
per.
yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so better than the other whole of the country.
Yes.
And what is the recommendation from the WHO?
Sir, 180 eggs like.
That you should say also.
Yes, sir. So, with this production, India has been able to achieve the second position in the world in egg production. And then commercial poultry is the main contributor in it. 84% is contributed from the commercial poultry sector, and from the backyard poultry, it is coming around 15.51%. So, and in meat production, it is the fourth in the world. But out of the total meat production, around almost 50% is contributed from the poultry meat. As you can see, 49.27% is contributed from the poultry meat. Now we should move on to the classification of poultry breeds. Poultry breeds can be classified mainly in indigenous and exotic. So the exotic breeds is mainly classified into 4 classes. American class, English class, Mediterranean and Asiatic. Presently, 21 breeds have been registered under NBAGR in India, indigenous breeds. Out of that, most of them are very good for backyard poultry farming. And then Asil, Karaknag, Punjab Ram is indigenous breeds of Punjab.
Which breeds you are reading over here? Explain that also.
Yes, sir. I am from Joy. So why go for indigenous breeds? Because they are well adapted to the native environmental conditions. They are more disease resistant. They can they can be reared on scavenging feeding systems. So very low input is required. Their meat quality is good, but the disadvantages are the egg production is very low. Then slow growth rate, and they show natural routine is also. That's why these are some of the drawbacks. We'll discuss Asil. Asil bird you might have seen in our farm also. Okay, so Asil bird, this this bird is famous for its fighting ability and also game bird. So they have got strong muscles, high stamina, majestic gait, and strong fighting ability. If we tell about the size, it is larger size as compared to the native breeds. It is around 28 inches from back to toe. But the egg production is low in case of these birds. The egg laying starts at around 6 to 7 months, and production is around 30 to 35 eggs per year. So the egg production is low, but the meat quality is good. Kadaknal. This breed is known for its black meat. Like the skin, beak, shanks, all these are black in color, black plumage, comb, wattles, these are tongue, these are purple in color, and but the meat is very highly nutritious. Okay, then it is high in protein, then fat percentage is low, lean meat, then essential amino acids are there, vitamins, and this meat has also got medicinal properties, just like Sir told, the antioxidants. These meat is found to have high antioxidant properties and aphrodisiac property also. So these meat has got additional medicinal value also. But the egg production is medium, like 70 to 90 eggs per year, and they lay brown shell eggs. Punjab brown breed, this is good for, this is the indigenous breed of Punjab. These are dual purpose breed. Their plumage, as you can see, it is brown plumage, then sometimes the spotted brown, reddish and black spots may be seen. Hands weigh around 1.6 to 3 kg and cocks weigh around 2.15 to 4 kg. Their egg production is also like good 60 to 80 eggs, and they can be reared on scavenging feeding system. So they are good for backyard poultry farming in this Punjab environmental conditions. They are suited to the environmental conditions, and plus they have got good egg and meat production also. So next move on to our exotic breeds. The American class, they are mainly dual purpose breeds, and they lay brown shell eggs. The common characteristics are plumage are red colored, brown or red colors. The brown egg layers, they have got good adaptability and productivity. The best, if we say about the best dual purpose breed, we can say the name of Rhode Island Red, RIR. So the characteristics are the single red comb, upright and bright red. Their body plumage color is deep, dark, reddish brown in color. Then rectangular body shape, broad breast. These are good characteristics for meat. Plus their egg production is also very high, around 150 to 200 brown eggs per year. So they are very good dual purpose. The meat production is also good, their egg production is also good. So they are very good dual purpose breeds. Other some of the breeds are Plymouth Rock, Wyandotte and New Hampshire. These are also good dual purpose breeds. As you can see, their meat quality is good, and the egg production also can reach up to 200 eggs per year. English class. English class breeds are mainly meat purpose breed. They have got good like body weight gaining properties, so they are mainly the meat purpose breeds. They are large, heavy, good table birds. They are also good in egg production, and then plumage and good growth rate is seen in these birds. Examples are Australorp, Cornish, Sussex and Orpington. Out of that, the best meat purpose, we can say the Cornish breed. This Cornish breed is mainly used for producing the commercial broiler strains. The broiler strains that have been developed nowadays, so they have been developed from this Cornish breeds. These are the other Sussex, Orpington and Australorp. Then out of them, Australorp has got very good egg production ability. Mediterranean class. These class birds are mainly reared for egg production. We all know that like white leghorn is the best egg laying breed in the world. So they lay around 280 to 320 white eggs, and these class lays white shelled eggs. All the other class mainly lays brown shell eggs, but the Mediterranean class, they lay white shell eggs. They are light bodied and well developed for egg production. Examples are Leghorn, Minorca and Connaught. This white Leghorn is being reared in our poultry farm. You all might have seen our layer breeds means earlier farmers containing these white leghorn. Asiatic class breeds, the main feature of these class is they have got feathers in their shank. And these are large and heavy bodied birds known for feathered shank. They have got docile temperament and brooding tendencies. They have originated in China and nearby areas. But since these are heavy birds and these feathers, if they get dirty and mud and fecal material, if they get stuck in their claws, then there might be some frostbite conditions or other injuries to their shanks. So they have to be kept clean. These were the indigenous and exotic birds. Now the most commonly that is used commercial level. The commercial level for egg laying purpose or the broiler purpose. For egg laying purpose, I have told like white leghorn is the best egg laying breed. For developing brown egg layer, RIR was good, so RIR was crossed with white plum or rock to produce the commercial brown egg layers. On commercial basis, broiler Cornish breed is used as a broiler sire, and for broiler dam, white Plymouth Rock, black beard Plymouth Rock, and New Hampshire, they have been crossed to produce the broiler dam. So these are the mainly basic four commercial strains of four commercial breeds of chicken. Then different companies have developed the different broiler and layer strains like Cobb, Howard, Lohmann, Vencombe, all these things are there. And then layer strains are also there, BB300, Bowens, Highline, there are the different developed strains. That improved strains are indigenous birds along with this one selective breeding, with the help of selective breeding, they have been crossed with exotic birds also to improve the local birds that are suited for backyard system also, and also for scavenging feeding systems. Like indigenous birds, their egg production is very low, but they have been improved so that their egg production is also increased, and plus body weight is also higher, and they are with the faster growth rate. These are some of the examples, and many other birds have been improved. Many have been developed. This one Chhabro is developed in Central Poultry Development Organization in Chandigarh. So this one is suited for this Punjab region. Plus Giri Raja, Balaraja, they have performed very well in backyard poultry systems. So they are good for eggs and meats. We can get around 150 eggs from this improved varieties, as compared to the indigenous birds where we were getting around only 50 to 60 eggs. We'll discuss about Chhabro. This is very this is a dual-purpose breed. The strain that have been developed by crossing red Plymouth Rock and red Cornish. The body weight is around they attain around 2.4 kgs in 16 weeks of age, and the egg production is also high, like 165 to 170 eggs, and they lay brown shell eggs. So they have got good meat production also, and the egg production is also high. Plus they are disease resistant, so they can be reared under poor managemental conditions or scavenging systems in the backyard conditions. So the advantages are better meat yield, we are getting better egg production than indigenous chicken, plus the taste is also good. Then this broiler is also getting very popular nowadays. This breed have been developed by Keg Farms in India, in Delhi, situated in the early 1990s. So it is developed by crossing exotic breeds like RIR, white leghorn, red Plymouth Rock, and indigenous chickens and broiler lights. So these strain have been developed, which can attain a body weight of around 1.5 kg in 90 days. And plus they begin to lay at around 5 to 6 months, and they lay 150 to 200 eggs. So these are also very good dual-purpose birds, we can say. So they can be reared. The egg weight is also good, 50 to 55 grams. They have a fast growth rate, good scavenging ability, and suitable for low-input rural poultry farming. These are some of the data of other these improved varieties like Ramapriya, Kari, you all know, like in Bareilly, Central Indian Research Institute. So Kari Nilbit, Kari Pitkari, Kari Rupkari, Kari Devendra, many varieties they have developed and they have shown very good production with their good meat production, and then egg production is also good for improved varieties. So based on this, our requirement and whatever rearing facilities we have, we can select the appropriate breed suitable for our region. With this, I would like to move on to my next topic, like the brooding of chicks. So why brooding is essential?
Before going to the brooding, पहले तुसी आप बताइए कौन सी commercial है कौन सी benefit
To the chicks for all these conditions, so that it gets developed within about 2 weeks. So initial art and science of rearing baby chicks is called brooding. They get ready by around 3 to 5 weeks. Thermoregulatory mechanism will also develop by about 2 weeks. So in natural conditions, natural brooding is done by the hand itself, but in commercial level we have to give artificial brooding. For artificial brooding, we can go for either hot room brooding or cold room brooding. In hot room brooding, we heat up the whole room, but in cold room brooding we heat only the area under the brooder. Like here, this is a picture from our farm itself. So this is the brooder guard with a canopy like hover or reflector that will reflect the heating source back to the floor or the ground. So it will increase the temperature in the ground. Then I will come to it about the management. In hot room brooding, a central heating system is used for heating the whole room, as you can see in the first pictures. And for cold room brooding, we are using the heaters only for the floor area where the chicks are kept. So it depends upon the different heating sources that can be used. Either we can go, if electricity is not available, then traditional methods like charcoal stove or this one bukharis can be used. Then electrical gas brooders, then oil lamps can be used, or electricity can be used for brooding. Cold room brooding, this is floor brooding. It can be done with the help of canopy type brooding, which is umbrella type hovers or reflectors can be used. Inside that, the lights can be arranged, or we can go for infrared bulbs. Then this is infrared brooding. So chick guards should be arranged in circular manner so that the chicks are not chicks do not move away from the heating source. They remain confined in a circular area under the brooder. So the hover can be arranged at a distance of 60 to 75 centimeter from the the guard can be arranged at a distance of 60 to 75 centimeter from the heating source. If infrared bulbs are used, around 150 to 250 watt bulbs are enough for 100 to 250 chicks. Infrared bulbs have got additional advantages like germicidal effect. It triggers the synthesis of vitamin D, then it lasts longer time, and also it reduces cannibalism. On commercial level, battery brooding is also practiced. Mostly around 60% layers they are kept under battery brooding systems. So here the birds are kept in cages and light or heating source is arranged from outside or from lights can be arranged inside the cages also. So this is called battery brooding system. The advantages are in this system there is less mortality. It is free from coccidiosis that might come from the litter. Then labor requirement is less, better feeding efficiency, and heating is done by electrical heater in this system. For the first few days, like paper can be arranged above the mesh because there might be leg injury, so we have to keep some newspapers over the mesh area, and then can be removed after 3 days. Location of brooder house. The brooder house, because the chicks are very much susceptible to many kind of diseases, so the location is very important so that infections do not come. At least the brooder house should be located at a distance of 100 meters from other poultry farms, so that disease and infections from other poultry farms do not come to the this our new flock or the brooder flock. Preparation. We have to prepare before and only before bringing the chicks. So how can we prepare? Like we have to clean all the previous litter material or down, everything should be cleaned properly. Then disinfection should be done, and then provide at least 3 to 4 weeks downtime period. That is the rest period. But before the previous means after the previous flock has been sold out, we have to we cannot introduce a new flock. We have to give a resting period or 3 to 4 weeks downtime period. We tell so that so that infections are not transmitted to the next flock. So we have to give that period. Then after cleaning and arranging everything, we have to do fumigation of the rooms and the equipments. Fumigation we can go for 3x concentration of formaldehyde. Like this one for 1 cubic meter we use around 20 gram of potassium permanganate in 40 ml or 40% formalin. That is the standard concentration. We can go up to 3 times it. Like 3 times means 40 gram of potassium permanganate and 120 ml of 40% formalin for 1 cubic meter space, tank volume. So we can calculate accordingly, like the area wise what means how much we need. Then circular brooder guard, this circular brooder guard of around 5 feet diameter can hold up to 200 to 250 chicks. If we increase around 8 feet, we can even keep up to 400 chicks. Then heating source should be placed at the center. We can use any heating source like normal incandescent bulbs or infrared bulbs. Accordingly, we can arrange. Then litter materials first initial around 2 inch up to 2 inch height. We have to keep fresh litter material. Then cover it with old newspapers so that for the initial phase we can cover with it old newspapers and spread the feed or ground maize over the newspapers so that the chicks can feed from the newspaper itself. Initially the chicks might not know to eat from the feeder, so we can spread over the newspaper so that the birds learn to eat from the newspaper itself, and then slowly they will learn to eat from feeders. A hover of around 90 centimeter diameter, it is sufficient for 250 chicks. So according to our number of birds, we can arrange different brooders and then we can take the chicks. So we have, for just like I told you, temperature is very important. So to maintain the temperature, we have to switch on the heating source prior to the chicks arrival. Around 24 hours prior to chicks arrival only, we have to switch on the heating source so that the required temperature is achieved. Then ground maize or chick feed can be spread over the newspapers. Then electrolyte, glucose and vitamins can be added in water itself for their early growth or faster growth rate. Then the feeders and waterers should be arranged in alternate way or cartwheel fashion. Like here we can see these are the feeders, these are the waterers. These are the waterers, these are the feeders. It can be arranged in alternate way in cartwheel fashion. So brooding temperature. Brooding temperature is very important because the chick's temperature is around 107 degree Fahrenheit. So, but the outside temperature is low, so we have to maintain the outside temperature. For the first week, we have to maintain 95 degree Fahrenheit. Then we reduce 5 degree Fahrenheit every week up to it reaches 75 degree Fahrenheit. So in the first week 95, then 95, 19, then 85, then 80. Then in the last 4 to 5 weeks, we bring up to 75 degree Fahrenheit. This can be done by raising the level of the lights and or by reducing the number of bulbs. Then we have to regularly monitor the behavior of the chicks. Like after the chicks are kept inside the brooder, we have to see if the chicks are moving away from the heating source and they are means at the boundary of the brooder guard, and then there is no noise and the chicks are panting, then the temperature is too high. We have to reduce the temperature either by reducing the bulbs or by increasing the height. Then if the chicks are evenly spread and noise is also temperature is correct. If the chicks are moving under the brooder, if then means they are going towards the light, then it is the and chicks are very noisy, distress calling is there, then the temperature is very low. We have to increase our temperature. If the chicks are moving towards one side, then there is some problem of some wind or any other disturbance from one side. That's why they are moving towards the one side. So we have to see whatever the chicks behavior patterns are there and accordingly manage what are the necessary. Then those newspapers that we have arranged, we have to remove the old newspapers in 3 days and we can place new newspapers. Then brooder guard can be removed at around 7 to 10 days. Then first initially we can go for 24-hour lightings from 0 to 8 days and then we can shift on to 23-hour lighting and 1 hour of darkness to acclimatize them to with the night time also. In the first and second day, electrolytes, vitamins can be provided. Antibiotics, these are nowadays not used, like sir already told you very detailed way. And then number of feeders, for around 100 chicks, 3 circular feeders around 36 cm diameter, 12 kg capacity is sufficient. And for waterers, 4 liter water capacity of fountain waterers is enough. Feeding space per chick. Per chick, if we are using this one, linear feeders, at least 2.5 centimeter during the first 2 weeks, and in the next remaining period, that is 2 to 6 weeks, 4.5 centimeter per chick should be provided. Water space is around 0.6 and in the later 2 to 6 weeks, 1.3 centimeter per chick. So this was